This is the second time that I filmed this video because I've struggled to cover such a big moment in my life and such a big topic. You'll know what the topic of this video is because it is in the title. It's about me acting in television when I was younger. It's quite hard to cover the topic in a video, in just one video. So when I filmed it originally, it seemed a bit jumbled. So I'm going to try and make it a bit more concise, and I'm just going to go from the beginning to at a point where I feel like it's time to finish this video. I hope that's okay. I asked some of you what you'd like me to cover in this video, and you've messaged me and you've given me some questions and things, so I'm just going to read through those as well and go through those, and hopefully you'll find this video interesting. Let's hit the story of me acting for television. Some of you may not know, but for about 5 years, was it a period of 5 years, I think, when I was younger? I'm not very good with times and dates, something like that. Someone will correct me. It was when I was younger. I acted for a television series called the Sparticle Mystery on cbbc, which is a children's BBC channel, in case you don't know. I don't know if you're British or not, but there we go. And I was one of the main characters called Holly, which was very exciting. Yeah, I was in 3 seasons, of which I think there was 13 episodes in each season, and I think each episode was about half an hour long. I got to stay in like Leeds, Belfast, I stayed in Bristol. Each series was filmed in a different location, and it was very much that I stayed in that location for a long period of time. So it was the first time that I properly had stayed away from my parents. I mean, until I moved out with Ryan, it was kind of the only time, apart from a holiday, that I'd stayed away from my parents for a long period of time. So it was very weird, very exciting, and a massive part of my life. So I auditioned for what I knew was a TV series for cbbc. That's kind of all I knew, I think. I remember them saying that it's like a sci-fi, I don't know if they said it was Lord of the Flies. Press definitely compared it to a children's Lord of the Flies. Basically, all the adults disappear to a different dimension and the world is left with all these kids and they turn into tribes. Hence the show called Sparticle Mystery, because our tribe was the Spartacles, and we like drove around and saved the world, well, saved other people and fought other tribes to food and had food fights, and we drove around in a police van. So when it came to the audition, I got, I think, part of episode 1, and then I had the bit that I had to learn, the lines I had to learn, which was actually from like episode 3 or episode 4 or something like that. In episode 1, it said that there were some kids that had gone on a school trip, and when they had come out of the caves or something, all the adults had disappeared. So me, thinking I was being really clever, this was like the first proper audition I'd been to, I think, for a TV show. I put on, TV show and film, by the way, just like screen in general. I put on my school uniform and like acted the part, thinking I was being really in character. I definitely didn't get it because of that, because later on I found out that Holly wasn't the one on the school trip. She was found in a hotel later on in the series. But hopefully the casting director appreciated that I was really in character. I did get the auditioning role, I think, through my acting agent at the time. I'd done a few things through my agent. I'd found her online, I kind of emailed her myself, and then I had done a few like modelling jobs, more like advertising roles, one for like a government project. So I did have an agent. However, I actually saw the same thing posted online for an open casting, and it was on a Twitter account called Screen Terrier, I think. And Screen Terrier I used to always follow, and that has like open castings and things. I don't think it's around anymore. However, I know some of you want to get into acting, and I would say to follow casting directors or casting director agencies, because I see them posting castings all the time. And me and Amelia actually got 2 adverts from us applying for them online via a casting that we saw on social media. Was TV acting what you imagined it to be? Yes and no. I really didn't think much about how well I would get on with everybody and how horrible it would be when a TV series came to an end. So what would happen, I was quite young, so I had a chaperone, because if you're under 16, is it if you're under 18 now? I don't know. But because I was under 16, I would have someone that would look after me. So my chaperone would pick me up at a service station when my parents would drop me off, and someone else would get dropped off there, and then our chaperone would drive us to Bristol, which is where the series was based. Then I'd be there for the whole 5 days, and then on the Friday I would get driven back, then my parents would pick me up, I'd stay with my parents for the weekend, and then we would start again. The chaperone would not stay in my hotel room or anything like that, but I always knew where he was. We'd usually have dinner together. He would always be on set with me. He was really, really lovely. The bit that I struggled with, I think, first of all, was some of my friends were over 16. I always struggled with the fact that they would always go out together and I wasn't really able to. And they would like go out in the evenings and things, and I wasn't able to because I was younger. But the bit that really, I really didn't expect was the sense of community and like family. I really, really struggled when the show came to an end, coming home and not being with all the people that I felt like I'd lived with for like 12 weeks, I think it was, 12 weeks. That bit I really struggled with when I was younger. And I know that you probably get used to it every time you do another acting job. But it got actually harder for me as I got older, because in the third series, I actually shared a flat with one of the members of cast, and we all shared, like, we all were in an apartment building, and it felt like we were living with each other. Well, we literally were living with each other, and so when that came to an end, I was always the person crying at the wrap party. But that bit was really hard. And it's weird to think that now, because when I originally heard that I'd got the show, my biggest fear was that I wasn't going to get on with anyone there. I don't know why that was. You just kind of assume, don't you, that all the TV productions work together and things and you'll be the odd one out, but it wasn't that case at all. I think I was worried that because a lot of them had done acting before or went to an acting school, that they would just all be like in their little group of friends. But the TV world is not like that at all, and you're just like all one big family. The crew and cast mix as well, so that bit was really nice. And I definitely miss that with the job that I have now. Someone's just asked me, what auditions did you go for where you didn't get the parts for? Weirdly, I can't name a specific audition. I haven't got so many. I mean, I have auditioned a lot and I haven't got them. I've stopped and slowed down quite a lot now because I really enjoy presenting. And also, it's very draining. Auditioning a lot and not getting anything and not being told why. But I think the reason that I can't name a specific show or film that I've auditioned for is because as an actor, I think you get used to detaching yourself from the idea that it's actually going to happen. I mean, you go up for so many auditions and it gets so frustrating that you actually just forget that there's even a possibility that you're going to get the job. At least I did. I would just audition for it and be like, I'm not going to get it. And then if I do hear back, it's a complete bonus. And I think that's why I struggled. I struggled so much with doing it, with the audition process after filming this series for 3 years, was because it just didn't make me feel good at all. And I felt like I could act, and people had told me I could act, and I really enjoyed it. And so many people used to say to me, well, once you've got one job, you'll always be able to get another, and that's not the case at all. In fact, I feel like some people lied to me, really, when they said that. And that is one main thing that I probably should say, is that if you're older, and you feel like you haven't got a head start in acting, if that's what you want to do, or in anything, it's not the case at all, because I was the child who got an acting part that lasted 3 seasons of a TV show for cbbc, which at the time was a massive deal for me, and I'm not an actor now. It didn't help me get any form of acting now. So I think that's an important thing to think about when it comes to any career, really. Yes, okay, sometimes it can be a head start, and yes, okay, if I was maybe in a film when I was younger, I might have been able to get into another film. Sometimes it works like that, but sometimes it doesn't. Do you know roughly how many times you have to act on a scene to get all the camera angles? I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is it's a lot. I know for children's TV it's different, because for films, I think they film like a scene a day or something ridiculous. Whereas we would film quite a lot of scenes in a day for kids' TV. You would have to be very good with continuity. So if I was going to take something out of my pocket, I would have to remember what word I took something out of my pocket, so when they were doing another shot, it would all sync together, or another shot and it would all sync together. I can't tell you the specifics, but I can tell you that I was quite shocked when I came on set and realised how many times you had to redo everything. It is a bit different when you're younger, because you don't have to stand on set the whole time. You're meant to have breaks, and they have to make sure that you have that amount of breaks. So if you're not really seen in shot, or it's just like the back of your head or something, they will allow you to have a break instead of standing in on that shot. And sometimes they'll get someone else to stand in for an eye line or something like that. So when you're younger, you don't have to do as many takes of things, but when you get older, you do. Well, there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I told you it's going to be a bit of jumble, but I'm not going to refilm it for a third time. I hope you enjoyed it, and me and Amelia will hopefully see you on Monday. Bye-bye.